Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Paisano's Music and Vinyl Talk. Tonight we're going to talk about a very special album by one of the greatest hard rock / heavy metal bands of all time, the great Iron Maiden. And their, huge album, The Number of the Beast. This was their first album with new singer Bruce Dickinson, who is still with them to this day in 2022. There was a vocalist change. This was their third studio album. The first two were with Paul Di'Anno, who sang on the original Iron Maiden album and Killers. Iron Maiden was 1980 and Killers was 1981. This album came out in 1982. I purchased it. This is a repress from 1986. I bought this at Quincy Records. I'm sure they had a much better heavy metal section. They had a dedicated heavy metal section that was pretty extensive. I got a lot of the good stuff there. This came out on Harvest Records and was produced by Martin Birch. Martin Birch, let me tell you, he was a top shelf producer and engineer. Worked with Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Rainbow, Whitesnake on many, many hard rock and heavy metal albums in the 70s and 80s and even the late 60s. He worked with the original Fleetwood Mac before they got all poppy. They were a blues group led by Peter Green, and Martin Birch was involved with them quite a bit in their early days. This was a big change for the group. They got Bruce Dickinson, and immediately they became a different band. They started to stretch out a little bit. They lost kind of that punky, punchy Di'Anno type of singing. The group decided to stretch out a little bit, led by their bassist Steve Harris, probably, I don't know, right up there with the great bassists of all times. He was undoubtedly the leader of this group. He was the original founding member from way back in the mid-70s, and it was definitely his band. But they definitely changed direction with this one. But right off the bat, this album produced some absolute stone cold Maiden classics. Children of the Damned on side one. Iron Maiden classic for sure. 22 Acacia Avenue. Side 2 kicks off with The Number of the Beast and Run to the Hills. I mean, come on. Still played to this day. Maiden classics. Finishes with Hallowed Be Thy Name. Another stone cold Maiden classic right there. So I mean, this was not short. I mean, there's some classic Maiden songs that are still played to this day on this album. And let's take a look at the vinyl. You got the devil theme going on here. These guys were not Satan worshippers, I can assure you. They used the imagery, as did a lot of heavy metal acts of the day. And their mascot, Eddie, and all his variations. There's side 1, pretty much just Eddie's face. And side 2 has got the track listing and the text. Alright, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content of my channel. Who knows what Paisano will dig up next week? Tune in, find out. Thank you, YouTube. Good night.